So I really didn't want to make this video at all because it was an issue that I thought would just get resolved over time. Hence why I've left it for so long. But in saying that, I just want to make this video and just be done with this at this point. If I get a refund, if nothing happens of this, if something does happen, I'm just happy at least I've made this video and said what I wanted to say about the situation. I probably shouldn't say issue because I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't even know if this is maybe an issue or maybe it's just a risk, only just a risk and not something that a customer should face. Excuse me. But anyway, so this is to do with over 2.5 years I've been dealing with a boya named by Abu Salman. He goes by I think a couple other names online as well, but Abu is the boya. So Abu, 2.5 years ago, actually over 2.5 years ago, I made a purchase with him for a Korean bow. It was a bow, it was about $255 and a couple of cents that I made directly through him from Facebook. And that bow to this day I do not have. I do not have a refund either. I have nothing to show for it. These hands are empty. I got no money, no bow, 2.5 years later. And I have been in contact with him over those 2.5 years, so I will give him credit that he hasn't just left me in the dust by absolutely no contact at all. But he still holds my money. That being said, I should also mention that I got a little bit of a list here to go through some things. So I will be glancing down quite a bit at my phone. So please excuse me. Sorry for the disrespect. So his replies throughout our communication were very slow, I must admit. Which is, I forgive because it's been 2.5 years. I haven't pushed for anything until this last year, I would say. So the 2 years and this half year I've been really pushing for something to happen, but the last 2 years I haven't been really pushing. So I could understand slow replies. Look, I'm sure he's got customers. I'm assuming it's just himself. So I wasn't going to push anything at all. But that being said, I now look back on it and I probably should have maybe pushed for a little bit more. And every conversation that we had, it was always instigated by myself. He would never message me. I think there may have been 1 or 2 cases initially within the first month that he were asking about specifications and payment. But after that, every conversation, I initiated the conversation. He never went out of his way to say, hey, I hope you've gotten your bow. I hope that, the tracking or shipping went well. How are you finding the bow? If I did even receive it. I hope you have received it, that sort of stuff. Or just letting you know your bow's finished and I have shipped it. He didn't even let me know that my bow was shipped, and even if he didn't even ask if I received it. That being said, that brings me to another absolutely crucial point. He never even sent any tracking number throughout. I did even ask him for a tracking number. I specifically said, do you have a tracking number? And there was a picture reply, which I couldn't even make sense of. Look, I understand language is just a little bit of a barrier. I just speak very minimal amounts of Indonesian, but I will specify that my friend, she is Indonesian, tried to get in contact with him through Messenger for me. She tried to call him, that never happened. He didn't pick up. Completely understandable. It was just, I thought I'd give it a shot. She just took my hand, basically took my phone and just tried to call him because she was messaging on my behalf in Indonesian. So I kind of roughly know what they were talking about, but I thought it would be a little bit better for an actual Indonesian person to get in contact with Abu, since he's Indonesian as well. I think maybe slight dialect changes from the region, maybe, but either way, no luck was found there. Now, in terms of any pictures, there was, I think, one possible picture of the bow. I still can't make sense of it. So there was no evidence that the bow was even made. I would like to believe that he made the bow. I've over 2.5 years, I can't confirm nor deny the bow's even existence at this point. There was no progress updates as well, so I can't tell, when he initially finished. I think he gave a rough date as to when he sent it, because he said, when I first asked where the bow was, I think he mentioned about 3 weeks prior to that, he may have sent the bow off of memory. This is just going off memory. This isn't on my lists or anything. So also the bow was also apparently in a fire. So his car caught fire apparently, and the bow was in there. So he had to rebuild it. This was in the first year, I do believe. And then after that first year, he showed a picture of what I think was a couple bows on a drying rack or some sort of rack, stating that my bow was being rebuilt. So that's after, I think, the initial time he tried to send it, and it got knocked back by shipping, since he's shipping to Australia. Now, this was during COVID, so I gave him the benefit of the doubt for the 1.5 years worth of COVID. So that's also why I didn't want to push anything in addition. So and plus the fact that his car caught fire, to my understanding, his car caught fire anyway. It could have maybe been something different. But either way, it sounded like he needed to rebuild the bow, so I gave him even longer. Completely understandable. I was, mind you, I think waiting for about a year up to that point. It's probably the longest I've ever waited for a bow. During that time, an alley bow came, but that was just unforeseen because alley bow at the time had really long shipping. Now, the actual time I asked for a refund was probably within the 2 years, so just at the end point when it was getting to 2 years worth. I was like, hey, maybe a refund would be best option for you and me, because he was obviously, look, he had the bow and he obviously couldn't send it to me. He apparently did, I think, try to send it once or twice more. I can't fully confirm, I can't fully remember, but he did send it at least 2 times. No tracking number though, so I can't confirm if he did try to send it. But if I'm going from his word, he tried to send it twice, and the shipping knocked it back. So I basically asked for a refund because I did not foresee getting the bow back, because it's been over 2.5 years. So 2.5 years, and he still has like the issue to not be able to send it. So I was just like, if you give my money back, I'm okay. You keep the bow. Very sorry about it, etc. Like, because I'm sure he has the bow now. Like, I'm very sorry, but I did give you my money over 2.5 years ago. I do believe I was almost 19 or probably 20. So it took me a very long time to get that money at the time, hence why I went through Alibo afterwards when I obtained some more money to make a bow purchase, because this bow purchase was not cheap for me, because I was fresh out of high school, in a low-paying job. Still am, but that's beyond the point. But yeah, it's not a small purchase to be made. So I'm just very sad that I didn't think of this sooner, and I don't have any money to my name as well, and he holds still all the money and the bow. Look, he eventually did end up offering a $100 refund, stating that he lost money during shipping. So the extra $155. Now all this is AUD. I've tried to put this back into AUD. I'm not sure if the $100 is in USD he was trying to refund me, or if it was in AUD. But either way, that's under the amount that I paid for the bow, and under the amount that I paid him. So I basically said, like, I'm not, I don't think I mentioned anything at that point, just because I was so sad. It's been such a long time. Like, I don't understand why he would offer $100. So sorry about that. That's absolutely hilarious timing, because I have just received another package that I made purchase from probably last month, and I've just received it now. So if that says anything about, I don't know shipping companies. The fact that I made an order about a month ago and I've just received it now, I mean, I don't know. I've got no words at this point. If there's more evidence needed, I'm just going off of two bows I've got here. So a while ago, I made a purchase for a Mariner bow through Bamboo Archery. Now, I've got the video. You've probably seen the video already, but it's a full carbon core Ming Moon 6. Now this one is extremely bendy. There was a huge amount of issues with the bow. Look, it can be shot, but it was like, it's not a bow that I would give to just anyone. There was a lot of heat treating involved with the bow to get it to the way it is right now, and it's still not shootable completely, I would say. That being said, I talked to Ronald from Bamboo Archery, which I assume was Ronald, through the Bamboo Archery Facebook page, and he actually got me a replacement. Now, I do want to do a separate review of this, just because his customer service is insane. But Mariner originally wasn't going to replace the bow, because I don't know why. He sent me a bow. I paid in full for the carbon core, and I think it was luxury wood and etc, etc. And I got given a bow that barely could work. But Ronald, he did a replacement, so you can see that this, look, I'm not going to take it out of the sleeve because I can't be bothered popping it all the way back in, but just as a representation. Now, this isn't to do with the shipping, this is just to do customer service. So the one on the right, this one is completely wobbly, and the one on the left is my replacement. Now, he did that completely for free. I didn't even pay for extra shipping. So spin me that story, how customer service can change greatly from one individual to the other, because I have never had an issue like that before, as well as the issue I'm facing right now with Abu. Exceptional work on his part, Ronald, because I didn't expect that. Like, I didn't expect it, because Mariner, I think, wasn't going to cover the shipping. That's why Ronald covered the shipping. Look, I thank him a lot for that. But like I said, I think I kind of should want to, and also owe him a separate kind of appreciative review of his customer service, because that wasn't the only thing he did. He followed up. It's a complete opposite situation. I've dealt with a lot of people now, and I got to tell you, Ab is the one person that he seems very uncaring about my situation, because like, he never followed up any conversation. He never asked, about any updates. Like, he never gave me any update. He had never asked if I want to spend any extra money about the shipping, because when he offered that $100 refund, he's basically saying that he took the rest of the money and used it for shipping, the rest of the $155, because I don't know, like, wouldn't you tell an individual that I'm only giving you a half refund well beforehand if you ask if I'm to ship it again and again? Look, I understand he didn't realize he was going to have to ship it again and again, But the fact that he just told me without any prior knowledge, I had no prior knowledge that he would take that money and reserve it for shipping. But yeah, like that being said, I don't think there's a couple of other things that I have put on my list. Maybe I should go through them real quick anyway. So it got to a point where he did also ask for my ID. Now, at that point, you got to understand I was in a very untrusting position of him, since he provided no proof that the bow exists through pictures, no tracking number. Every conversation I had with him, I always instigated the conversation. So I was in a position, and it's been 2.5 years. So 2.5 years of my life, I've aged twice, almost a third time I've aged. So I've matured, hopefully, within that time over these conversations. So I just saw the fact that he was asking for my ID without even any tracking number and me knowledge of, the bow landing in Australia, him just saying it landed in Sydney, and they needed my ID. So I was just like, okay, send me an email or something so I can get in contact with the couriers from Sydney, so I can sort this out. And then I think we had a little bit more of a conversation. I eventually did end up sending him my ID, but I didn't really understand anyway why I needed to send him specifically my ID, because I thought it would go to the people that are sending the bow to me, not directly through Abu. But I did end up anyway, just because he didn't send any details of the courier or any phone number for like the Sydney airport or whatever, or customs or anyone. He sent no contact details. So instead I did send it to Abu, and I just said, look, I trust you so much. Look, if it was too late at that point and they were sending it back to Indonesia, I'm very sorry, but like it's happened several times where he couldn't ship the bow anyway, if that is correct and if that's the truth. So, I mean, I don't understand how it would land in Sydney this one time anyway. So I'm going to be honest, I looked at the video, and it's not that I wasn't happy with what I said, I just want to make sure I get everything off my chest. So this is actually the second day, because last night, I don't know, I just had a busy day, and I recorded that video quite quickly, because like I said, I just want all this off my chest. So when I looked back down, I sat back down and saw all the video files, I was just like, I want to make sure I say everything just in one video, because I don't want to have to go through this again and sift through this. So I just wrote down probably some of the other stuff that was just lingering on my mind last night. So just to start this off, there was an occasion when he tried to send the bow, and he was just confirming. So this was probably the third, or this is the last time he tried to send the bow, and he sent an image of the bow with all my details on it, and I said that I couldn't identify, if they're my proper details. So I couldn't confirm if he put them down correctly. Now, he basically sent it straight to shipping and didn't send me any other clear picture beforehand. He sent me a clear picture after he sent it. So by that time it was too late anyway. And I already told him, I said, a little bit after that, those details were slightly incorrect. It wasn't hugely incorrect. I do believe it was just my name was slightly incorrect, but it wasn't huge. I've had people in the past have spelled my name wrong on shipping, and I still receive it anyway. Look, there was no also confirmation on address change. So this is only a couple months ago anyway. I had a little bit of address change, and there wasn't really any confirmation. I guess he was maybe thinking that he wasn't going to ship it anyway again, because he did eventually, to this day, he's just like, yeah, no more shipping, which is, what I was talking to him about anyway, because that's what I thought, he couldn't ship it anyway. And I don't know why he's coming to me now saying that he can't ship it, because I knew he couldn't ship it. after that first year and a half. I don't know, the other ones are kind of, this is where I'm not really sure, because I don't know if this is something that other people experienced. I think I'm going to post this video on multiple platforms just because I want to have realistic expectations, and you know, if this happens commonly to other people with other boyers or other sellers, maybe I just get lucky with one or two really nice people that actually you know, deal with the situation. And maybe, you know, I understand that some people are at a loss, but I know it's better customer service. And I don't know, maybe this thing where it's just like, you know, I just risk my money, you know, to an individual, and you know, it's overseas, you know, it's just common practice to, you know, for them to hold my money, and for me not to expect anything in return. That's just maybe a risk I take, and it shouldn't be something that I look upon as in I'll get something in return. I should be like, okay, I'm giving this person my money. There's a likelihood that they'll keep the money and keep the product and give me and offer me nothing in return, or absolutely minimal in return, or, you know, waste 2.5 years of my time. But yeah, look, if anyone else has had the same issue, I would really appreciate it if you tell me. Like, you don't have to say like who the individual is, but just I just want to be able to relate to some other people, because I don't know. I know one other person that's had difficulties, but not to this degree before, with a boyer. But I just want other people to relate to. So if anyone else has had this happen to them or something of the degree, please just put a comment or send me a message or something. I just want to be able to relate to other people, to have either realistic expectations and to really understand better, you know, what I should, you know, plan for, and to relate. Because yeah, I feel a little bit isolated with this incident. Yeah, and I don't know if I deserve this, honestly. I don't know. Yeah. I think that's everything off my chest, hopefully.